What's up my friends, welcome back. So I think this is the second or the third, I'm not very sure, but this is another Q&A video. I posted the photo and the text like 2 weeks ago, and we already have like 102 or 103 questions. So we'll answer those after, but first I will just want to make some announcements. First of all, this video is not edited. This won't have a script, so as you can see I'm speaking English not that good. Anyway, I hope that you will understand me. So the first announcement is about the giveaway. I've announced a giveaway a week or 2 weeks ago, and that giveaway will end by the end of this new year. So if you want to take a chance and win a soldering station, this is what you have to do. And pay attention. All you have to do is to make an account on Electronoobs.io, which is our new website. And once you have the account, you have to post something on that site. It doesn't have to be text, it has to be a project or a tutorial. But don't worry, that's not very difficult. A tutorial might be difficult, but a project, all you have to do is to share something that you've made with a photo and a small description, and that's it. You click post, that post will appear on the website, and then you will automatically enter the giveaway. And then I will select the winner and announce that on my YouTube channel. So make sure that you post that on electronoobs.io. I will leave the links below, because at the end of this year, on the new year, I will announce the winner. So make sure that you check that if you want to win a soldering station. Okay, so the second topic I want to announce here is about the new forum that we have on electronoobs.io. As you know, we invested a lot of money, a lot of time and energy in creating a new website that is called electronoobs.io, but we also have a new forum there. But people and the user don't use that very much. I receive a lot of messages on Instagram, like 40 or 50 a day, on Facebook, on the comments, but I can't answer all those questions. And also I receive a lot of mails. You see, if I receive like 100 messages each day, I'm not able to answer all the questions, and I not fully understand the problem. So if you have any type of question, if you want me to help on a project, maybe you have a doubt, maybe you don't know a formula or something, just go to electronoobs.io/forum and place the question there, because in that way all the community could help you. If you have a problem with transformers, with energy, with power, with microcontrollers, with, I don't know, maybe even developing a website, you have the topics there in the forum. Just place your question and me or any other of the community could answer that. And in this way we can help the entire community, because I will help you, you will help me, and the others could help each other. So that's the announcement that I want to make. Please don't send me Facebook messages anymore, because I have so many messages each day that I'm not able to answer those messages. And on Instagram is the same. So if you want to contact me for something special, yes, maybe send me a mail. But if you want to contact me for a problem or for a tutorial, please use the forum, because in that way, the problem that you have, if we solve that problem, the others could see the same result and use that for their project. Okay, so now we start with the Q&A. So I posted that like 2 weeks ago on YouTube. I have my laptop here, we have all the questions here. We have a total of 103 questions. First of all, I will have to say that a lot of these are not questions, are just requests. For example, please make a drone made with Arduino. That is not a question, so we won't talk about that. And a lot of the questions are repeated. So for example, there are a lot of questions about my banana, we'll talk that later. So if this is the same question, I'll just answer it once. So let's start with all the questions. I'll try to answer all of these. Some of these will have a very short answer like yes or no. But if I have something that I would like to say, well, we will make a longer response. Okay, so the first question, okay, as always, is what is the reason behind the banana? Okay, so this started as a joke. This is a meme on the internet. If you go to Rage or something like this website with memes, you will see that the banana is used for scale. I know that this sounds a little bit stupid, because bananas could be bigger or smaller, but as you can see, my table for my workshop is very big. So if I'm showing something in the middle of the table, you can't know the size. So placing a banana on the side is pretty useful. I mean, you pretty much know the size of a banana. I know this is not perfect every time, but the banana in my videos is for scale. If you are an old subscriber, you will already know that, because I've already answered this in the past Q&A. But if you are new to this channel, you will know that the banana is just for scale. Okay, so that is the question for the banana. The next question is for Mina Yusuf, and he asked me, how did you learn Arduino programming? Okay, so I think that a lot of you will think that I've learned programming Arduino in my university time, but that's not true, because during university you don't learn programming Arduino. We've learned Java and Python, and then we made C++ and C, and we used a microcontroller that was the MSP, I think MSP 430, but we never used Arduino. I bought myself an Arduino during my first year of university. I bought the Arduino and the motor, and in order to learn Arduino, all I've made was go to YouTube and search for basic tutorials. I think my first tutorial was to make a robot move, so I've learned how to use PWM signal with an H-bridge. So if you want to start with the Arduino, just go and buy one. It doesn't have to be the original one. If you want to support Arduino, yes, buy the original one. But if not, with only $2 or $3, you can buy an Arduino Nano, then just buy some wires, maybe some DC motors, some LEDs, some resistors, and go on YouTube and search for very basic tutorials. And like that, maybe for me, in like 10 tutorials, I was already pretty good controlling the Arduino, because I knew how to use PWM signals, how to use registers, how to use libraries with the with the radio receivers and transmitters, the Bluetooth connection and stuff like that. So just go to YouTube, search for basic tutorials, and just start making tutorials. If the first one you won't make it, go to the second one, and you will see that each time you will get better and better. And also at the same time on some website. YouTube and website are very good places to learn Arduino. Okay, so the next question is for Science Tech. How to learn Arduino programming? Are there any online courses available? Well, this is the same question. Yes, there are a lot of websites, and if you go to Electronoobs.com, you will see a lot of basic Arduino programming, and also my YouTube channel and other YouTube channels. Maybe I'll put some links below, but anyway, if you Google Arduino basic, you will see a lot of tutorials, starting from how to turn out an LED, up to how to make the entire electronic speed controller, like in my case. Okay. The next question is from Preet Charan. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing well your name, because these are from the entire world, so I can't pronounce them perfect for each person. Okay, it is difficult to convert chip into high amp power ESC. Okay, so first of all, what do you talk about my ESC, the open source, or any cheap ESC from China? Because if you buy an ESC from China, the first thing you will notice is that it is not open source, so you don't know anything about the circuit, about the code that you have inside the microcontroller, and not even the microcontroller, because usually they scrap the name of the microcontroller. So if you want to change anything to that circuit, it's pretty difficult, because if you don't know the schematic and the code, maybe you damage the ESC and it won't work. But in my case, if you use my open source ESC, which I have to say I'm pretty proud because it works pretty well, close enough to the commercial one. If you want to make it to be able to work with much power, all you have to do is to change the MOSFETs, maybe even use IGBTs, or even place more MOSFETs in parallel. So with that, the output will have more current. But at the same time, make sure that you make the tracks bigger, because with more current, the tracks will suffer more. They could even blow up, because if they are not thick enough, they can burn out. And also you can add wires or solder on top of the tracks in order to take more current. And if you want to increase the voltage, all you have to do is just increase the voltage, make sure that the MOSFET will take that voltage, and the drivers at the same time. I think my drivers are at maximum 24 volts. And if you want to increase the voltage, you will have to make sure that you lower the voltage divider, because the voltage divider is connected to the input of the Arduino. So the Arduino can take only 5 volts, and if the output is 24 volts, all you have to do is to divide that voltage to lower it below 5 volts, and then connect it to the Arduino. So in my case, I'm lowering the voltage from like 17 volts to below 5 volts. And if you increase that to 24 or 32 volts, you will have to change the resistors of the voltage divider and make sure that it won't burn the Arduino. So that's pretty much all you have to do. Okay, so let's see the next question. The next question is for Jack Sparrow, Russian. Please, I have a request. You can make tutorial on ESP8266. So once again, this is not a question, it's a request. And by the way, a lot of the requests here, I already have tutorials about that. In this case, I already have a tutorial about ESP8266, and I'm planning to make a lot more. So stay tuned for that. Another question for Andy Kresk. The question is, bananas, why so many? Well, I already explained the banana. Okay, I'm seriously from this question is for Dibbles Villard. Okay. I'm very curious about the tattoos on your hand. So these tattoos, when I was very young, I bought some machines. I still have those machines for tattooing. I wasn't a tattoo artist, but I was making tattoos to my friends. And one of my first tattoos were this one in order to test how I can tattoo on my own skin. I'm not very proud of these tattoos, and if I have the money and the time, maybe I'll remove those. Don't pay attention to these tattoos. These are not important. Okay, so let's see the next question. This is for Erico N. Tell me the program that you use to design your PCBs. It's easy to find all the components in that program, or you have to design the components too. Well, as you all know, I'm using EasyEDA to design all my PCBs, but in the past I've also used Design Spark and Eagle, which are pretty much the same. But the reason that I like EasyEDA is because all the components that you create as a user will be shared on the online library, on the cloud. So if, for example, I don't have a component, let's say a regulator, the AMS1117, if I don't have that component, all I have to do is to go into the user libraries, and if somebody designed that component, I can get it and use it. So in that way, each day we'll have more and more components. So in this way, you can find pretty much all the packages that you want for your components. So that's why I'm using EasyEDA, and also it's very easy to create the Gerber and send that to JRC PCB, for example, and create a PCB. So yes, I'm using EasyEDA. Okay, so the next question is from Alpha Mods. Oh, this is a YouTuber that we've made some cooperations with and we'll make more in the future, I'm pretty sure. And he asked me, what do you like or hate the most in your YouTube life? Okay, so this is a question from a YouTuber, which, well, because I think he already knows what I like and I dislike. And the thing that I most like is that I have very much freedom selecting my tutorials. I can make whatever I want and post that on my YouTube channel. And at the same time, my work is my hobby. That's the thing that I like, because I can make electronics, which I love, and at the same time, this will be my work. The thing that I don't like being a YouTuber is that I work too much. I work maybe 14 or 15 hours a day sometimes, and those will let me very tired with a lot of stress. You have to answer a lot of emails, you have to upload the videos, you have to make the thumbnails, to edit the video, edit the voice, make the tutorial, order the parts. So that is too much stress for me sometimes, and I hope that in the future I will be able to get some help, maybe somebody to help me. So that's the thing that I don't like, because usually when you get from work, you get in your house, you stop, you watch your TV, maybe make some food, maybe relax. But in my case, I'm working in the same house that I'm living, so I never stop. Even at night, maybe at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm still editing. So that is a thing that I don't like, and I will try to change that. Okay, let's see the next question. What is your age? Well, this is very easy. I'm 26. Are you going to do, this question is for Tech Build. Are you going to do any electronic teardown? It's quite an interesting and fun thing to do. Well, actually, I'm preparing something. I'll leave a question on my community tab if you are interested into vintage teardown. I already have some radios that are like 25 years old. I also have a very old oscilloscope. I think it's also like 15 or 18 years. I have some walkie-talkies that I want to tear down, so please tell me in the comments below if you are interested to just see teardowns. It's not a project, you won't learn too much, but all I will do is to tell you what is the product, open it, take a look at the components that we have, and that's it. That will be the video. If you like that kind of video, it's easier for me because the teardowns are very easy to make. So meanwhile I'm making a big project, I could make just a small video with a teardown. So if you like that idea, please comment below. It will be teardown only about vintage products. Okay, so let's see the next question. The next question is from Iman Ranka. What are the most useful electronics topics for any electronic hobbyist should learn? Okay, if you want to start electronics and you want to know what you should learn, please watch my first podcast on this channel. I think it's the first or the second, I'm not sure. I will leave the links below. Because there I talk about the topics that we learn in the first year or in the first, in the second, the third, in all the years of my university. So you will start with basic components and circuits, where you will learn how to analyze a circuit, how to analyze the nodes, what is a resistor, what is a capacitor, what is a an inductor and stuff like that. So that's pretty much basic electronic. So in the first year, if you want to start with electronics, learn basic components, which are resistors, capacitors, inductors, stuff like that, and also some basic amplifiers, the op amps, and some configuration with those op amps. Once you know how pretty much a circuit works, then you can pass to more advanced electronics. So watch that video, because there I talk all about the mathematics, about the components that you will learn, about the calculus and stuff like that. So please watch that podcast. Okay, the next question is for Daniel V. When are you going to do another Kickstarter? Well, about that Kickstarter, that wasn't a success, and I realized that making a Kickstarter, not the Kickstarter itself is not that difficult, but making the product is very difficult, because you have to order all the pieces, and the prices are sometimes more expensive than buying directly the component. For example, if you want to buy an Arduino Nano from China, that will cost me like $2, but buying only the chip, I searched for a lot of suppliers, and only the chip will cost you like $1.10, so it's pretty much half of the Arduino. So if you merge all that together with the boxes, with the printing, with the 3D cases, with the iron tip that I'm talking about the Kickstarter, about the soldering iron, well, the price is very expensive, and usually people will say, hey, I will just go and buy a normal product. So in the future, if I will make another Kickstarter, it will be for very small kits and for PCBs that are very easy to make, and sold those for only $5 or $6, because if you have a Kickstarter that will cost you like, I don't know, $40 plus shipping or $30 plus shipping, people won't help you, because that's very expensive for a lot of you guys, and I know that. So in the future I will make very small kits, and maybe those will be Kickstarters. I'm planning something for now, but I won't tell you what it is. Stay tuned for that. Okay, this question is from Prani Krisha Reddy. Okay, the question is, when a transistor works as a switch? Pretty much all the time, depending on what transistor are you using. For example, you know that the BJT is controlled by current at the base, and the MOSFET is by voltage at the gate. So pretty much if you apply more current at the BJT, you can control it, you can control the power output. But in case of a MOSFET, if you apply voltage, you can enable it or disable it as a switch, but you also have to look at the loss, at the voltage threshold and stuff like that. But pretty much a MOSFET is always controlled as a switch. There are a lot of exceptions. You should just go and search on Google that, and you will find a lot of topics about that. This is maybe for a full video. Okay. Another question for Blind Podlar. You noob? This is not a good question. Please, yes, I am noob. I am a noob. Please, sorry, my cell phone just, okay. The next question is from Soham Patil. Can you make a drone video in your next year, which is based only on Arduino and is transmitter and receiver also? I want, sorry if the question is not fully grammatically correct, but anyway. I want to learn about our drone making. Is awesome, bro, and you're also awesome. Okay, so pretty much this is not a question, but it's a question because he asked me if I can do that, but at the same time is a request. But also at the same time, if you realize, I already have like maybe 10 videos about Arduino drone on my channel, and I even have a video start to finish on how to make a drone with Arduino, with the MPU 6050. The transmitter and the receiver are also based on Arduino, so just go to my YouTube channel and search for the Arduino drone and you will find that. I think this is a new subscriber because those videos are like 1 year old. But anyway, if you want an Arduino fully based on a drone fully based on Arduino, just go to my channel and you'll find that. Okay, the next question is for Zampindo. What is the biggest problem that you face while making YouTube videos? What influenced you to pursue this in electronics? Thanks in advance. Well, my biggest problem will be time, because a lot of projects are very time consuming. I have projects that are maybe like 3 or 4 months, and I have to 3D print stuff, to order parts. And for example, when I order a part and it's not the good part, I have to order it again, and usually that is from China, so I have to wait a lot of time. So that should be my biggest problem. And at the same time, I would like a bigger workshop. Right now I had to move in a smaller room. This is a new workshop. As you can see, we have a lot of echo here, but I would like to have a bigger workshop so I could make bigger projects. For example, I would like to make an electronic bike or a cart, but I don't have space here. I'm living in an apartment in Barcelona. You can weld here, you can cut with big machines. So maybe those are my biggest problems for making a video, for making a project. And what pursued me to get into electronics? Well, I've just started the electronics university without even knowing about what I will learn, and I start loving it. So that's why now I'm into electronics. Okay, let me just close the notification. The next question is from Manhunt Patil. Where do you live? Okay, so I live in Barcelona. I think I said that pretty much all the time. The next question is for Shabu Kajla or something like that. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it well. Or the reviews done by you about things you have, all of them with you, and if yes, you can make any giveaway. Sorry, I'm not understanding the question. Okay, giveaway of those 3D printers from your last video of 3D printer. I'm very curious about electronics, but I can't afford that. Oh, okay, so pretty much he's telling me that what I'm doing with all the parts from my reviews, and if I will make giveaways with those. First of all, pretty much all the printers that I have were given away. I'm now having like 3 printers because this is a big one. I have a smaller one in the other room, so I'm using those printers, so I can give those away. But if you stay tuned on this channel, I think I make 2 or 3 giveaways each year. So maybe it will be a 3D printer, maybe another soldering station, maybe a multimeter. So yes, I can give you my printers because I'm using those for my projects. Okay, the next question is for Kenji Mandaviva. I think I will stop saying the names because I think I'm getting wrong all the names. Anyway, why are you putting a banana in your video? Okay, please reply me this one time. I already replied you, this is for scale, banana for scale. Where are you from and what's your age? I live in Spain, but I'm not from Spain, and I think I'll leave this as a secret. Let's see if somebody knows. I think there are some people that know where I'm from, and my age is 26. I'm 26 years old. Okay, the next question is, why are you putting a banana on the table? Okay, once again, the banana. And is that your favorite fruit? No, it's not my favorite fruit. I'm just putting it for scale. Okay. Do you make one video at one time, or you work on various videos? Do you make any projects other than YouTube? Can you name them? Okay, so I think I've already talked about this. Yes, I'm making a lot of videos at the same time because I classify my videos in easy, medium, and hard. The hard ones will require me to make a lot of research, to make a lot of tests, to test the part, so make the part a lot of times, to order components, and when I have everything prepared, I'll make those into an easy project and record that. Usually that will take me like maybe even a year. For example, with the ESC, I was studying how the ESC will work for like 6 months, then I made the video. But the easy video is something that I already know. For example, how a boost or a buck converter works. All I have to do is to gather the knowledge that I already know, make a script, record that, make the animations and the tests, and that will take me like 1 week. But if I have a very big project, I'll have to make tests during the time that I'm recording the small projects. So yes, I'm making a lot of videos at the same time. Not videos, but a lot of projects at the same time. And do you make any other projects than YouTube? I think I already told you this on Instagram, but I've already made these last 2 years an escape room. If you don't know what an escape room is, well, it's a room, it's a game where the people will get in, and in 1 hour or maybe 1 hour and a half, they have to solve a lot of mysteries in order to get out. That escape room is here in Barcelona. In our case, is based on a submarine story. So all the submarine is made with Arduinos, we have LCDs, we have keyboards, and I'm also planning to make a full video about that and show you how each panel works. So if you are interested in to see my own escape room, please comment below, because you will see that we have a fingerprint reader, we have key locks, we have LCD screens, we have torpedoes that you have to charge, we have some joysticks in order to shoot those torpedoes, we have a map, we have to coordinates and stuff like that. So at the same time, sometimes when something breaks, because I'm not in charge of that escape room, when something breaks, I'll go there and fix that, or maybe even change the panels and change the history of the story a little bit. Okay, so the next question is from Nick Clapham. Hi, I'm from New Zealand. You are a very skillful explainer and tutor, thank you very much. What sort of background, schooling and jobs lead you to do this? And what do you want for your future? Well, first of all, I've studied electronic engineer here in Spain in University of Barcelona, and at the same time I started this YouTube channel because I love explaining. And one of my plans for the future, I wanted to get my my PhD and then to be a doctor and to be able to be a professor in the university, but that is a very long journey, so I don't know for sure if I will get to that because I have to work a lot, and at the same time I'm having this job as a YouTuber, but pretty much that is my future. And at the same time I would like a bigger workshop to work even more to bigger projects. Okay, so the next question is from Banus Dasa. Can you store Arduino code in an SD card and use it? From what I know, you can do that, because the code, when you flash a code into the memory, it gets stored into the internal memory of the Arduino, into the fuses, so you can just store it on an SD card. The SD card is like an EEPROM, you can store those values and read those, but the code is stored internally in the microcontroller, so I'm pretty sure that you can do that. Okay, the next question is for Carla Savilna. How to get to 1000 subscribers on YouTube channel and how much time it will take you to do that? Well, in my case, I think it was more than 1 year to get to 1000 subscribers, and what you have to do is to constantly upload good content, good videos, and always improving your quality. So yes, more than 1 year to only 1000 subscribers, and then it is a little bit exponential, because 1 year to get 1000, 2 years to get 10,000 and stuff like that, and so on. Okay, the next question is for Qianuan Jiang. What is your motivation to keep posting these awesome contents? And is there an ultimate project that you are planning in the future? Well, the motivation is because you like this. I get a lot of likes, a lot of comments. At the same time, this is my hobby, it's not just my job. Even if I wouldn't make YouTube videos, I will still making electronics projects, making robots, making stuff with the Arduino. So pretty much that's the motivation, because I like it and you like it. And if I have any ultimate project, well, I don't have just a big project, I have a list with a lot of projects. And a lot of those are very big, so right now I'm not able to do those here in my workshop. Okay, so the next question is from eLab Innovations. Which microcontroller is cheap and useful for production level projects, and also now is compatible with the Arduino IDE? Well, I think the cheapest one, and it is a very good microcontroller, is the Atmega 328, which is the microcontroller that the Arduino is using. But if that is not enough for you, you could use the STM32. It is a lot more powerful, and it's also very cheap, and is compatible with the Arduino IDE right now because you have a lot of libraries, so you could use it with the Arduino. So just search for the SMT32. I'm preparing some tutorials about that, so stay tuned for that as well. Okay, the next question. Hello, how you know how to use statespace and linear controllers with MATLAB in real life applications? Okay, so first of all, I'm not sure what a statespace is, and I'm not an expert in MATLAB. We only made 3 months of MATLAB during university, and we made pretty much very easy calculations with some blocks, with some filtering and stuff like that. So I can't give you any answer because I'm not an expert in MATLAB. You should make this question to another person. Okay, the next question is the Arduino controller drone. Is that an exact substitute for ones on the market? Well, the drone is not an exact substitute because it won't work the same as the ones that you get on the market, but the radio controller is pretty much the same, because a radio controller will have joysticks, you send the values and you get PWM outputs or PPM outputs. So in my case, the radio controller that is based on the Arduino will work pretty much exactly as any other radio controller on the market, and it is using a 2.4 gigahertz connection, so you can get up to 700 meters or even more if you use a bigger antenna. Okay, the next question is how to make firing circuit for a thyristor. If you go to my channel, I have a full tutorial on triacs, and in that same tutorial I'm working with thyristors and explaining how 2 thyristors placed back to back are making a triac, and in that video I'm explaining you how to rectify the signal, get the zero cross, and then apply a firing pulse to that thyristor or to the triac, and by that control the output power. So just search for the triac project on my YouTube channel and you will learn how to use it. Okay, DIY, the next question is directly DIY USB 3 to 5 volts DC converter. This is another request, I'll have that on my to-do list, but this is not a question. It's hard to work alone in electronics designing. Is there any other of your friends or friends that are helping you, and who are they? And please a lab tour. Okay, I will prepare a lab tour in the future. And yes, right now I'm working alone. None of my friends are doing the same thing that I am doing. Maybe in the future I will be able to get some help, because right now it's very difficult to make a project each week, and I'm pretty much very tired and stressed. So yes, right now I'm alone, but maybe in the future we'll have some help on electronoobs.com and also on my YouTube channel to help me with the posts, with the editing and stuff like that. Okay, so let's see the next question. How to get live sensor data from a Node MCU on a web page. The last video that I've made was not made with Node MCU, but it was made with an Arduino and an ESP8266. Will tell you how to get the data and send that to the ESP8266 and then to a website. So this will be pretty much the same, because the Node MCU is working the same. You'll need a different library in the Arduino IDE and connect that to the ESP8266, which the Node MCU, I think it already has solder in place. So just watch that video and you will learn. So okay, that's pretty much what I can say for this question. You have that tutorial, and if you need more, maybe you should search on another website, because right now I don't have too much tutorials about that. Okay, other than the size, what is the difference between SMD resistance from the same value, 0805 or 0603? Do you consider return current path during your PCB layout? How to measure power consumption before making the PCB? How to reduce the power consumption from battery power device? These are a lot of questions from the same guy. Anyway, okay, so the first question, the SMD resistance from 0805 size to 0603, of course, is the size, but also maybe the sensitivity to the circuit, because the bigger is, the more parasitic capacitance or resistance could have. I'm not an expert in this once again, and how to measure the power consumption of your PCB before using it is a little bit difficult, but you have to measure the exact size of the copper traces on your PCB. At the same time, you can get the power consumption of each component from the datasheet, from your resistors, you can calculate the voltage on each resistor. Maybe you could use just an LT spice, create the entire circuit, and then the LT spice will give you the total power, but that is not the real power, it's just like a simulation power. So use the software called LT spice to simulate your circuit before you make those on the PCB. And how you can lower the power for your components, for your PCBs? Well, just use big resistors. If you are just making voltage dividers, just use, or pull-ups, use big resistors, because those will lower the power. At the same time, you should use integrates, ICs that can go into very low power mode, or put the microcontroller to sleep when you are not using those. And pretty much that's it. That's what you could do to lower the power for your circuits. The next question is it is possible to download a code from the Arduino? Oh, okay, so what you want is, once you upload a code to the Arduino, if that is possible to get it back? No, I'm pretty sure that you can do that. Once you upload, you burn the fuses on that, you have the bootloader, and then you upload the code to that microcontroller. There's no way to get it back, only if you have the code. Because in that way I could just connect to any microcontroller device on the market and steal that code. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that you can do that. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite tool? Microcontroller or any other thing to make projects like soldering iron? My favorite tool? I think it will be the multimeter, because I think it's the tool that I most use, because you have to test connections, resistance and stuff like that. Maybe the multimeter, I'm not sure. The same guy asked me if I like physics. Yes, I'm not very good in physics, but I do like that physics. The next question is, can you please make a multiple input PID controller tutorial? Yes, I have that on my to-do list. I think we already have like 5 or 6 videos on PID, but all of those are just with one input, for example temperature. But imagine that you want to control temperature and pressure at the same time. The PID control will be a lot more difficult. So yes, I have that on my to-do list, so stay tuned for that. What do you say to the god of death? Please, I say hello. About your study. This is not a question. I am a newbie in electronics, and should I concentrate in electronics as a beginner? Well, yes. If you want to learn electronics, you should concentrate in electronics. Yes, that is my answer for that question. I have made a robot and want to show it to you. I'll post it on my Instagram. Well, if you want to post it and show it to me, just post it on electronoobs.io, and at the same time you will enter the giveaway. So there you have it. Make a receiver and transmitter for a drone using the 433 MHz RF receiver and transmitter. First of all, those receivers, those very tiny receivers for 433 MHz are very sensible to noise, and use those with some motors, with some brushless motors on drone is not recommended. So that's why I'm not using those transmitters for that kind of job. Okay, the next question. I'm a fan of you, I'm from India. I want to ask you that what struggle you faced when you started YouTube channel? Well, I was out of money. I had to do 2 jobs, YouTube and at the same time a separated job, and at the same time I was studying 6 hours a day on my university. I had the exams, so yes, I didn't have money for a new camera. I wanted a new camera, I didn't have enough space. So when I started the YouTube channel, yes, there was a lot of struggle, but I like that, don't worry. Okay, please make a DIY Alexa. This is not a question once again. What things or equipments one should gather before starting a startup to make PCBs products and sell those online? Well, if you only want to make PCBs, if you are sure about your knowledge, you could just use a PC, a CAD software like EasyEDA, and create that PCB. If you also want to create that PCB and receive it and test it, well, you at least need a multimeter to test connections, to test short circuits, resistance of the tracks and stuff like that. And if you want to test the result of the circuit, well, you will need an oscilloscope, because with the oscilloscope you can see the signals, you can see that if the output is the good one, the square waves, how the microcontroller is working, the communications, if you are using a I2C or SPI communication for the LCD or any other circuit. So you will need at least a multimeter, and if you want more, you will need also power supply to apply power to that PCB and an oscilloscope. And if you want to solder the PCB, of course you will need a soldering iron, but this is pretty basic. Okay, so the next question, why do so many of the people in this comment section have poor spelling and grammar? Okay, this is not important, but sorry, we are not all from America or from Great Britain, so sorry for our English. Next, can you mention my name in your next Q&A video, please? Well, I can't because your name is very difficult. I think it's Shahirzal 97. If I got it right, please tell me. What is the best ebike conversion kit? Both cheap and affordable. Well, I think that if there is a kit that is always selling on eBay, it's very popular. I think that is the best one because it's very cheap and it's pretty good. You have that big ESC, you have the big motor that I think is like 350 or 500 watts, and all you need is the battery kit. You get the battery, you connect that to the ESC and to the controller, and you can convert your bicycle into an electric bike for only like $300 or so. So yes, I think that is the most affordable. If you want more expensive ones, I don't know any, just search on Google. I'm not sure about that. The only one that I know and I've seen is the kit on eBay. Make a video on all the all sensor drone. Also, you want to make a video with the Arduino drone but using all the sensors. Okay, I'll place that on my to-do list, but I'm not sure when I will do that. Please tell us about how you come to this journey and what was your background that made you make these tutorials. Well, I've already told that. I was studying electronic engineer, and then that time I started this same YouTube channel, and then I started the Spanish YouTube channel, which is the same but translated into Spanish, then the .com website, the Instagram account, the Facebook. So now this is a bigger thing called Electronoobs. Okay, the next question. Why is there a banana? Already told you that. Do you know Gray Scott? Yes, I really like his channel. Which are you working in now? I think you mentioned the project that I'm working right now. Right now I'm working on a type of display. You will see that soon because I'm not sure when I will post this Q&A video anyway. The next question, where did the PID ping pong ball? In the PID ping pong ball tutorial, how did you calculate the PID parameters? The KP, the KI, the KD, and if there is a library for the PID in the Arduino IDE. Yes, the Arduino IDE has a PID library, but in my code I haven't used that. All I have, I applied the formulas for the PID calculations, and then what you do is to start with the KP equal to 1. That means the proportional is 1. So for example, in that case, we will controlling the distance to the ball. So if the distance is too high, you move the ball, you move the entire board to the left. If the distance is too small, you move it to the right. So in that way you can get a pretty good oscillation. When you get a good oscillation, what you have is to react to the speed of the movement. So in that way, so for that you have to increase the derivative control. So increase that with 0.1 maybe and see how it reacts. 0.2, 0.3 till you get a good result. This is the slow option. No, this is the fast option, but it's not that accurate. There are some calculations that you could do. I'll try to post a link below on how to calculate all the values using more complicated codes. So yes, there is another option for that. The next question, how do you use the EEPROM in Arduino to remember the previous state of the input power supply goes off? That is very easy. I've used the EEPROM in a lot of my projects. For example, for the soldering iron, the portable soldering iron, each time that you change the settings, those will get stored into the EEPROM in order to have the same settings when you power up the iron again. So all you have to do is to use the EEPROM library, I think it's a library, and you will do EEPROM.write, and you place the address where you want to write that data and the value. But make sure that the value is just 1 byte, because each block on the EEPROM is just 1 byte, so 8 bits. So from 0 to 255. If you want to write more stuff, you'll have to write on address 1, on address 2, 3 and stuff like that, till you get all the data that you want to write. And then you can read it with EEPROM.read. And then you can just give the address of that EEPROM location and read the data from that location. Okay, the next question. What job do you do in your real life? Well, this is my real life. What is your age? And can you make a video about Arduino Drone? First of all, the Arduino Drone, I've already made a lot of videos about that. My age is 26, and in my real life, I don't know. I'm a normal person by day and Robocop by night. Okay, the next question. From where can I gather all the electronics and the Arduino coding knowledge that like you? Once again, YouTube is very useful because you have a lot of projects and they will teach you a lot, and if you don't like YouTube, you will get a lot of blogs, for example from the Arduino, from the Instructables. You get those projects, and in order to learn, you should make the same projects following the same steps, because by doing it, you will learn how to make it. Okay, the next question. Is there any possibility that we are going to see any SMT microcontroller video at this moment? Yes, I have that on my to-do list. I've already bought a lot of SMT microcontrollers, so we will see those in a future video. I'm trying to send a balloon with an Arduino based GPS sound. I have planned to get a meteorological data from a ground station. My LoRa module transmits at 433 MHz. What is the best antenna to place on the board and GPS sound? Well, first of all, the antennas will have to be an antenna for 433 MHz. I'm not an expert in antennas, but I think you can get a pretty long antenna for that module and send for a long range. But for example, if you don't want to use the LoRa, you can use the NRF24 radio module. And if you go to the channel of iForce 2D, that guy with a big antenna could get signal up to 10 kilometers with that module. So I think you should go to a blog that is specially made for antennas and learn more about that, because I'm not an expert in antennas and there's a lot to know about that. So sorry, but for now I can't give you any more information. Just in my case, use that nRF24 radio module with the amplified antenna and you could get up to 10 kilometers, which is a pretty long range. What resources do you recommend to learn electronics and programming? Once again, YouTube and internet, and I don't have any book for you to recommend you right now. Please make a video on how to control brushed motors with the Arduino PWM and MOSFETs. Once again, if you go to the Arduino based drone with brushed motors, you will learn how to do that and how to use an H-bridge, how to use the PWM to control MOSFETs and stuff like that. Please give me more insight on how to start with the FPGA at the best and an affordable oscilloscope. Well, I have a few tutorials about FPGA start to finish, so just watch those FPGA videos. I will try to make more, but right now I don't have anything prepared. And as for an affordable oscilloscope, you can get the Keysight, but that is a little bit more expensive. In my case, I've started with an oscilloscope that costed me only $250. I think it was a Handtech from China, and that was good enough. It wasn't the best, but for me as a beginner, it was good enough. It was the Handtech DCO 8050 or something like that. I can't remember that. Are you having any success with your electronics kits? I think that you're talking about the Kickstarter, and no, the Kickstarter wasn't a success. Is there any project that you will love to make but you can't? Yes. For example, it's too big, too expensive, you don't have the skills to do that. Yes, I have a lot of projects that I can do because of the space. For example, I already told you that I would like to make an electric cart, but I don't have space to weld metal, to cut metal, to work with big motors. So for now, I won't make that project. So that is an example for your question. We need to know the reason behind the banana. Already told you that. How to make an industrial furnace with the display. I think this is in French. Okay, so I think you want to make a heater with a display for more than 1000 degrees Celsius with the Arduino. Well, the Arduino will work at 5 volts and that will control maybe some relays or maybe some big MOSFETs that will control a very high power heater. So just watch the video on the how to control the PID control for temperature, but instead of using a 12 volts heater, you should use a bigger one with a bigger MOSFET. So that will be pretty much the same because you have the display, you can see the power, you can see the current that is going to the heater, you can see the temperature, and by that you can control, but you'll need a very high power heater in order to get up to 1000 degrees Celsius. Okay, what software or code can you use to display animation on an LED matrix display? How can I answer that in just one answer? You should just Google for LED matrix display examples. I think I have a few videos on that on the display matrix, how to move the lights around. I can't really answer you that right now because it will be maybe a full tutorial. Which is the best or your favorite electronic project so far? If you are talking about my own projects, my favorite one is the ESC because that was a very long project. I have like 3 versions and I'm very happy with the results because it's working very well. So my favorite one till now is the ESC because I put a lot of work into that and it is working exactly how I wanted. Okay, can you please make another video on making a variable power supply but with no AC power at all? Well, if you want to make a power supply with no AC power, it's the same, but just remove the AC power. Because AC power is, you have to get the input of the AC power, you regulate that, you rectify that with a full bridge rectifier, you store the energy into a DC, into a huge capacitor, and that will give you DC voltage. So till now, just remove this circuit and just get the DC voltage instead from the capacitor. Instead of getting it from the capacitor, get it from a battery, and the rest of the circuit is the same. You can just control the output with a boost and buck converter. So that's pretty much all that you have to do. Okay, please create a video on very long range drone using the LoRa range module. I'll put that on my to-do list, but I'm not sure when I will do that because I'm not very used with the LoRa module, and especially when working with drones. Will you come to Australia? Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm preparing for a vacation, but I'm not sure if it will be in Australia. Not sure, we will see that. Please tell me how to make a system for girls security. What is girls security? Oh, so you mean like security for girls when are on the street, like pepper spray or something like that? This is not the question anyway, but I'll think about that and maybe make a video about that. But that should be security for everybody, not just girls. Anyway, why doesn't transmit data through light from USB connection? Well, I think that there are some transmitters that are using infrared light to send data from a USB connector to another. I'm not sure, I will search that on eBay, but I think there are. That's not that strange. Hello sir, I'm from India, can you make the LED matrix to be 60 by 8? Okay, so this is another request, this is not a question. The next question, how to ask question in YouTube in how to ask question. Okay, so this is just a joke. Which is the best Raspberry Pi for beginners? I think the Raspberry Pi 3. I'm not a fan of the Raspberry Pi, so I can't recommend that, but the Raspberry Pi 3 I think is the best one. It has Wi-Fi connection, it has output for audio, HDMI and stuff like that. Okay, so the next question is how to learn electronics by yourself. Example for a book or things like this. As I told you before, I don't have any book as an example, but you could learn electronics from videos, from YouTube, or from any other electronics related website, maybe on Instructables, maybe from my own website. That's a big part of how I learn it, and if not, you should go to university and learn there. But right now I don't have any book that I could recommend you. Maybe the book of basic electronics, which is very, very basic. Okay, the next question. I want to learn electronics in depth. How should I learn? And what the topics I need to study? Okay, once again, go and watch my podcast on the things that you learn in the first years of the university, and with that you should know what you should begin with. Basic components, and then a little bit more op-amps and amplifiers, and then more complicated electronics. CAN bus module project. Okay, another request. Do you have any plan to start a Raspberry Pi and Arduino projects like OpenCV? No, I don't have that on my to-do list. I don't even know what that is. Please, I have a question. I build an Arduino based home automation and security system. Can someone hack into it and really search? Anyway, the question is if somebody could hack into the system that he made with the Arduino. That depends. If you are using a Wi-Fi connection and you are connected to the internet, that might be dangerous because the data that is flowing there, somebody could hack that with the get or the push functions. But if not, maybe if they have connection to the case where you have the Arduino, maybe like that they can pull the system out of, or even disable the Arduino and disable the alarm. Without seeing the schematic and the code that you have, I can't answer this question. Use the Arduino firmata, and it is possible or way to give microcontrollers delay when using firmata. I never use firmata, I don't know what that is, so sorry for that. What is your educational qualification and how to learn all this electronics knowledge? Once again, the same question. Can you teach us how to make an ESC and drone remote step by step? I've already done that. I have a video on the ESC and also on drones. Can you do some projects on microsatellite based LoRa? That is interesting, but how can you test that? Because I don't have a rocket to send the microsatellites in space. But maybe I'll put that to my to-do list and get something related to that. What's all the circuit board that you have on your wall behind you? These are just basic boards, motherboards from PCs, from printers, from all stuff that doesn't work anymore, and I just glue those on my wall. Do you think the DIY MPPT charge controller is possible? Yes, it's very possible. It won't be the best one, the most efficient, but you could charge some batteries, and yes, I think you could use it with some solar panels. Maybe I will put that on my to-do list. Maybe even based on Arduino, but Arduino is not that fast, and when you're working with control voltage and current, you need a lot of speed. The next question, do you think it is possible to create a bustbook converter for MPPT using Arduino? This is pretty much the same question, and yes, I think it is possible, but it won't be the best. We will have to make some tests with that. Okay, we have 2 more questions. What is the costiest item in your workbench? Okay, so the most expensive item in my workbench, I think it will be the oscilloscope and maybe some printer. Yes, the oscilloscope I think is the most expensive one, and I got that from Keysight. What is the one tool every hobbyist should have according to you? I think that is a multimeter. And can you see a guide on home automation and IoT? I've made a video about IoT, how to use the ESP8266 to send data to a website and get data from the website, and by that control lights from anywhere in the world. So just go to my YouTube channel and search for the IoT. So just search IoT and you will see that video. And final question, it is hard to learn Arduino programming? Not at all. For me, Arduino is very easy compared with Java or Python. Arduino is very easy, even compared with C++ or C. It's pretty much the same with C. I could say that. But yes, Arduino is very easy because you have a lot of tutorials, a lot of libraries and codes that are already made for that, so it's very easy to learn. Okay, so this was my last question, and I would like you to say you once again that use my forum for any doubt that you have, because in that way I will promise you that each week I will take a look on the forum, and if I see any green question, green means that is a new question, I will try to give you an answer. But I won't give any answer on Instagram or Facebook, so don't contact me there because I don't have time to answer those questions on those social networks. At the same time, I would like to wish you happy holidays, because I'm not sure when I'll post this video. I hope that this helped you and that you like it. So that's it for today. Till the next Q&A or next podcast, we'll see a lot of more tutorials on this channel. So stay tuned and thank you very much. Keep up, you guys.